Welcome to Wine Wednesdays with the Wine Professor. We had quite an exciting week here in northern Indiana, really all across the Midwest and the eastern United States. The polar vortex, a sign of climate change, hit our vineyards. And I'll show you what this did to our vines. You'll see a young shoot, a couple of young shoots here. One of them frozen, the other one survived, and so we'll see. I think great wines at the end of the season, maybe a little bit lesser yield. Hopefully the vines will recover, but again, this is what a spring frost can do in almost mid-May. Today we're traveling up the Hoosier Heartland Highway to visit Tui's winery, at least in spirit. Here's Plonk, one of their most popular wines, a Concord-based wine, and we'll taste that in a moment. Tui's was founded by Emily and Eric Harris, a young couple now with 2 children, and Emily, former Miss Indiana. Really a wonderful winery once everything is back in business and you can visit their tasting rooms. I highly recommend it. A beautiful modern facility. They are open for curbside pickup. You can even pick up their famous wine slushies, secret recipe that is made from this very wine. So let's taste a glass of Concord. That's the most popular wine here in the entire Midwest. Many of our wineries produce similar wines, and we'll open a bottle and see what the characteristics of a good Concord actually are. Pull out the cork and pour ourselves a little glass of good Indiana Concord. So see what we have in here, and the characteristics of Concord, and of course you know the smell from grape juices, jellies and jams as well. Really beautiful ripe citrus notes, orange blossoms, a little bit of lemon there, candy apple. So really beautiful, fruity. The wines are typically finished slightly off dry, so I have a little bit of sugar, a little bit of sweetness there. So that's a perfect balance to those crisp wines. They really make for wonderful summer wines, spring wines. We're going to have temperatures in the 80s next week, so it's going to be the appropriate wine to drink. If you're more into dry reds, Eric is also making, Eric and Emily are making a wonderful dry reds too, like Aglianico, a really interesting variety to taste. There's something there for everybody. You can order those wines online too. Little talk about moderate wine consumption here. The USDA and the Department of Health and Human Services, in their dietary guidelines, really recommend that you drink not more than 1 glass if you're a woman, or maybe 2 glasses if you're a man, per day. That's a safe amount to consume, maybe over lunch, over dinner. If you have children in your house right now during the lockdown, make sure you explain to them what is going on when you drink wine, the appreciation for modern agriculture, for grape growing. That's something that you can instill relatively early on, at least discuss, and later maybe you can take the wine appreciation class at Purdue to learn a little bit more about the efforts of the grape growers and the winemakers to make those delicious beverages. But again, moderation and safe consumption is important. The same is true if you consider driving anywhere. We have a legal limit for blood alcohol concentrations in Indiana, but even if you drink just a little bit and you're impaired, you can still get a DUI. So be very, very careful. I recommend you don't drink and drive at all. If you look at your blood alcohol concentration, I suggest you divide your body weight by 100. And that's kind of the number of glasses. So if you weigh 100 pounds, 1 glass, 200 pounds, maybe 2 glasses. But it's always better to have a designated driver if you go and maybe consume wine while you're on the go. Also recommend that you actually, since this is really a native grape variety that we're making wine from here, maybe go to your local hardware store, buy yourself a little Concord vine and plant it and watch it grow. It's really neat to see grapes develop over time throughout the growing season, which is a very long one. And if you have grapes left over, if the raccoons haven't eaten them or the birds, then maybe you can stomp some grapes and you can maybe make some grape juice popsicles out of the juice. So it's a lot of interesting aspects to actually learn about agriculture and appreciate the effort that the farmers put into these wines. So I hope you enjoy a little bit of wine in support of our farm wineries in those difficult times. So, for Marcia Purdue, cheers and boiler up.